Hey all my fellow and soon-to-be maniacs out there, this is your favorite webcomic creator and animator, the Chainsaw Maniac here with another edition of Coffee and Chainsaws. A segment basically where I just talk about current events, things that happened to me over the past few weeks and many other things, including media such as comics as well as animation and other various other medias as well. So if you guys enjoy the content that I do and you would like to see more, I suggest you head on down to that like button as well as subscribe and ring that notification bell to be notified of anything else I do on this channel. If you want early access to my webcomics as well as support me, I also have a Ko-fi, so check that out as well. Also, I want to give a shout out to two of my fellow webcomic creators, Copic Comics, who has almost completed the second season of The Witch's Stone, which is a really awesome comic if you guys haven't seen it, if you guys are into like mystery, romance, as well as supernatural magic stuff, you know. It's a pretty fun read and I suggest you guys go check it out. And basically a newcomer to the scene, I guess, in terms of uploading webcomics is my homie DJ Thunderheart, who has just released her webcomic after working on it for quite some time now. So if you guys want something new and refreshing to check out, I suggest you check out her webcomic series as well. So this week has been pretty chill. Not really, well, it's been a busy week for me, but it's mostly a chill week. You know, I worked on a bunch of animation relating to my work as a professional animator, as well as various other things like my comics and other things that I work on the side. Overall, just a regular day, week, just grinding through some comics, grinding through some animation. I am actually planning to record a video. Well, I was actually planning to record a video for this week in terms of my webcomic process using Blender and Clip Studio, but I didn't get really the time. So yeah, maybe later on, I think this weekend I might actually record that video so that I can actually like edit it during the week next week and then post it for you guys, maybe like Tuesday hopefully. We'll see how that goes. That was the video I was gonna do. I said last week that it was gonna be like how I actually got into the animation industry, but I think I'll keep that for later date. I think people are more interested in the Blender workflow and the and how I implement these things using Clip Studio. In the last stream, at the end, like just at the end of the stream, Kelly asked like, because normally I use Blender, but that was just for experimental purposes to see how far I can push the software and what the results I can get with it. And unfortunately, there are only certain types of results you can get with Blender. That is not what I want my comic to look like overall. So it's very limiting in what I can actually use to make my comics look good. And actually, I think what really won me over in terms of drawing on Clip Studio was the way how good the actual drawing is. Like actually drawing in Clip Studio feels like I'm drawing traditionally, which is what I love. So moving forward, I was like, okay, cool, I can still set everything up in Blender and then just bring it over in Clip Studio and then do the finishing touches. What I used to do before is the same thing kind of, but I would bring it into Photoshop, but Photoshop is absolute trash because Photoshop just takes so much out of my PC that I was like, I need to find a way to do things quicker because like Photoshop is just not it. And so I tried Clip Studio out and it's much more efficient. Also, I can have Clip Studio and Blender open at the same time. My PC can handle it. My PC is quite beastly. I don't have to actually do the thing what I was doing before where I would open Blender, do what I gotta do, close Blender, open Photoshop, bring the stuff into Photoshop, see, oh shit, things are wrong over here, and then I have to go back, close Photoshop, open Blender. You know what I mean? Like I can literally have two of the softwares open, so it doesn't actually feel like I'm jumping between softwares. It just feels like I'm working together with one software, if that makes sense, because the workflow works faster, and because I have multiple screens, I'm just basically in a state of flow, and I'm just basically flowing between the softwares very fluidly. And there's no actually like breaks in between. Nothing actually takes me out of its state of flow, because that was the problem that I think I was having with the previous workflow, and that's what really messed me up. So maybe this is one of those cases that actually prevents me from burning out, because I actually have a workflow that works for me now that actually is fun and that I enjoy. It's not too tedious or too restricting in any way. Like it actually doesn't limit me. I think that's also one of the reasons why I've actually not really been privy to burnout. I've just constantly been going And this is basically what I've been trying to do, was figure out a workflow for you guys as well as myself, that works and that you can actually use without actually stopping your state of flow, and you can actually just jump between things. But obviously you also need quite a decent PC, so I guess that's one of the other problems, right? Not everyone can afford a really good PC. Obviously the PC that I have is required for work purposes, so I need a really good PC. Otherwise, I'm not going to get anything done. So I mean, that's just one of the things that I needed, and that's why I got a really good PC, because it's more efficient and I can get stuff done. My PC is pretty good. Just a heads up, I think next week, or whenever I have free time, which seems to never come, if I have free time, I'll definitely try and make free time up. Saturday usually I'm free, like the whole Saturday before I stream, I'm usually free. So maybe I will actually record something during that time and keep it. Maybe I'll record a bunch of stuff and just keep it patched up so that I can actually just pop it into an editor and I don't actually have to put time out to record things, you know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. That will actually open up a bunch of stuff in the future, and I can actually put up more content for you guys, also get more stuff done. So we'll see how that goes. So be on the lookout for that workflow pertaining to Blender and Clip Studio as well. Recently I've also been challenging myself more with the grease pencil in terms of animation. I will say this, like, grease pencil in Blender, from my experience, is the best for animating. Like, it just is the best. And it's not just because of the grease pencil itself. Let me make this clear. It's because in Blender, you can utilize certain things and techniques that you can't utilize in traditional 2D digital like software, you know what I mean? Like using 2D animation and drawing things frame by frame, there's certain things that will really, you would have to pop into like After Effects per se, or like some video editing software to do some certain things much more easier. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically what I mean is, in Blender, there's certain tools in 3D that can help you ease your 2D workflow with your 2D animations, if you know what I mean, like your frame by frame animations. Actually, if you're looking in the background, you can see me working on the project that I actually released on TikTok and Instagram, which was for the Witcher Stone Draw This New Style challenge by my friend Jess. So if you guys want to participate in that, you can go check out her Instagram as well. She has the challenge up there, all the rules and requirements for the challenges, and you can actually go check it out for yourself. And also go ahead and check out my social medias, my Instagram and TikTok, so you can actually view that. And I also have an awesome soundtrack in the back that really blows that thing out of the water. So the reason why I bring this up is because there's a thing that I did, and this is just a quick thing. I know in the video that I will actually be posting, I'll break the animation down more, and I think this will be a cool thing. Every time I finish an animated scene, I think what I'll do is create a video breaking down the scene and how I actually set it up in Blender and everything like that. That will actually be a really cool thing to do. But for this video, I just wanted to point out something with the butterfly effect that I did, because I didn't actually draw every single butterfly, of course, right? What I did was I drew one butterfly and a very easy wing flapping animation I did, which is the setting that you can use in Blender that you can literally generate in-betweens between certain frames. And if you use it really smart, you can actually generate really good animations. So what I basically did was create one frame where the wings are down, one frame where the wings are up, and then another frame where the wings are down. And if you go in between those keyframes, you select basically, that's what it's called. It's called sequence interpolation. I think that's what it's called. You actually hit that setting and it will basically generate in-betweens between those frames. So that's what I did. And I created this really simple like wing flapping animation. And then I used a particle system and threw that butterfly into the particle system. And as you'll see in the end result, like there are a bunch of butterflies flying everywhere. I did the same with the hands on the ground. So that's a really cool thing you can actually do. And this is what I'm talking about with Blender's animation workflow. I'm pretty sure everyone is comfortable with whatever animation software they use, but this software is actually quite powerful. Like, you can do a lot with Blender. I think this is like one of the reasons why, is because you can take very simple things and turn it into completely insane masterpieces. And you don't even have to have like any drawing talent. You just need to have the skill and actually learn how to use Blender, and you can do some crazy shit in there. It's really cool. Obviously I have some drawing skill at least, because I've actually learned a lot of the fundamentals and You know, obviously I'm not the best, but I'm getting better. So I can implement things in my videos that other people can. If I had more time, I would have actually sit down more with the 2D animation and actually clean it up a bit more and do some more stuff with it. But I just wanted to do something cool. You know, it looked good enough and I put it out there as it is. I really actually was experimenting with the flash frames in between. I was trying to get the hang of it because I haven't actually done a really intense flash frames. So I was kind of experimenting with what would be the best sequence of flash frames that will actually create really good impact with this. And I actually looked at previous anime works. Yeah, I looked at previous anime works. I can't remember who the animator was on. Was it My Hero Academia? Yeah, it was one of the episodes where Todoroki, he does like this flame explosion thing. Yeah, he's fighting Deku in like the arena. It's one of the first few episodes in season 1, I think, where him and Deku fights for the first time. And you know, that fight has some really good flash frame sequences that if you are looking to study or looking for something to actually analyze and see how exactly the flash frames are done, really good example of what good flash frames should look like, or how you can actually implement certain flash frames and the ideas of how flash frames would work, is actually just study the keyframes and see how it's done frame by frame, and see actually what's the sequence of flash frames that creates a certain type of impact or feeling that it would actually create in your animation, and actually look closely at what you actually want. And this is kind of what I do with a lot of animes. I actually go frame by frame and watch exactly what they do with the animation, how they create like very hard impacts, or how they slow down certain aspects of the movements to add more anticipation for the next hit and stuff like that. So it's a really good study to actually go into if you want to go into animation, to actually look at some great works and look at them frame by frame and see exactly what they did to make the animations really pop, and just basically copy them. Just see exactly what they did and how they created that effects, and just mimic it in your own way, and you know, you create something new and different. That's usually what you normally do with anything else you learn. You actually, with the people you learn it from, you copy their ways, you mimic their ways, and you turn it into your own unique way. But yeah, I also want to talk about more on the topic of burnout, which is another thing that I was watching one of Indie Burn's videos. Check out, if you haven't checked out her channel yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life, go check out her channel. She has some really good content that based on Webtoon and her comics and other things that she talks about. She talked on the subject of burnout. So she talked about the subject of burnout and how it affected her over the past, I think, a few days, or when last she ever created a video or something. And I actually gave you one of the reasons earlier in this video why I don't suffer from burnout, because of my workflow itself. Normally I don't suffer burnout these days. I remember I did burn out in the first season of when I was creating the Merchant of Ignatius. The first few weeks my buffer ran out. Every week I had to plan and write a new episode, and I remember, like, damn, it really burnt me out. And I had to take breaks in between, like every 10 episodes or something. I planned that so I could actually, you know, rest up and actually write the next episodes. And it would actually not make me want to work on the next few episodes, because I was just thinking about the process and everything. And at the time I was working in Photoshop, mind you. So I wasn't actually even using Blender for my comic at the time. I was using Photoshop, solely Photoshop, to create my comics. And that was, I think, one of the reasons for my burnout was the software. I ain't gonna lie. And I normally don't blame softwares, but it was definitely Photoshop, because it kept crashing, you know, corrupted files. Photoshop is just I don't know, at the time. I'm not sure if it's better now. I haven't opened the damn thing since I got Clip Studio Paint. Like, I haven't even opened Photoshop in so long, because all my Photoshop files I can actually open just straight up in Clip Studio now as well. So that's also another thing. So yeah, it was crazy, like, because, and I can understand if you're working that way and you burn out. Yeah, I wonder if it's also because I don't really write scripts for my episodes. I just purely plan it as I go along. And I wonder if that also adds to the lack of burnout, because I don't necessarily have, because when you know when something is going to happen, I don't know, it kind of puts you off for a bit. I don't know why. Like, for me personally, it puts me off because I know exactly what's going to happen. Whereas when I plan things Whereas when I plan things in the moment, when the idea hits, it's so awesome that I am so excited to put the idea out there that it motivates me to get through what I want to get through. So I don't know if that's one of the factors that also leads me not to burn out and also keeps me excited and invested in the project that I'm working on. I do kind of plan my projects in the sense that I just plan the key points and then I just move ahead and I plan it as I go along in between. Because if you've noticed, like most of my comics don't really have like filler, so to say, or it doesn't drag. And that's because I hate filler and dragging on the thing. I just want to get to the good parts. So I don't actually mind like just getting straight to it. Even though my story isn't really linear in the sense that my story is kind of all over the place. If you actually read it, if you actually checked out Kill All Heroes, it seems all over the place, doesn't it? It seems like it, but it actually connects up later on. I don't know, right at the moment, Kill All Heroes seems like it's all over the place. I ain't gonna lie. Because usually what I have to do is, and this is what I haven't done with Kill All Heroes, is actually read through the material. Like I really need to do that with Kill All Heroes, because with Merchant of Ignite, the first season, it seemed all over the place. But when I read over the material once, from I think from like episode 1 to 10, I was like, holy shit, this actually makes sense. And when I read through it the first time, from 1 to 10, like it actually gave me an idea of where I want to put the next few episodes in. Because I know at the 20th episode where I wanted to be, I just needed to know how to get there from these few episodes. And so I think planning it that way really helped me as well. I just said I need to actually read through Kill All Heroes myself because I forgot everything that has happened in it. Like I remember key points within the story, but the real thing is in what the characters say. I just have to read through it again and make sure it's making sense, because I can always change the speech bubbles and everything later on as well. If I feel like, oh shit, this doesn't make sense, I can actually just change the wording. Yeah, so far I haven't actually read it, so I gotta read it again. And I actually like reading the stuff I make, actually. I ain't gonna lie, like, because I'm making stories that I would like to read. That's what I'm making, you know. But I also want somewhat of an intricate story between the characters. The one thing I do love is character development. That's the one thing I also love. When a character completely changes their way of thinking and their outlook on what they see, and they see their actions for what they are, and they realize that they have to change to fix things. Like, I really love that character development between characters, and like, you know, they learning, you know, and you, in a way, you feel like you're learning with them. And actually, there is a little redemption arc. I don't know if you have read Kill All Heroes. What episode are we on? Because right now Kill All Heroes is at episode 11, if I'm not mistaken. I think episode 12 is coming out this week. I'm already at episode 14. I'm almost done with episode 14. That's crazy. No, episode 12 is out. Yeah, episode 12 is out already. So episode 13 is coming out this week. And so yeah, we're at episode 14. If you've noticed, if you have read episode 12, I suggest you read my comic. But I'll make sure it's not too spoilery. But if you have read my comic, you'll notice that the focus has shifted now from Nathan, the main character, to Platinum Falcon, which was the guy. If you have read the first episode, just read the first episode. There's two people that start a fight, Nathan and Platinum Falcon, which is Platinum Falcon's the hero type. Nathan is the guy who wants to kill all heroes, basically. The fight starts out with these two characters, and you'll see now in episode 12, 11, I think it started, or 10, between these three episodes, I can't even remember. The focus has kind of shifted now. It has shifted, slowly shifting over to Platinum Falcon, who is going to be another main character. Because what I love about, if you've ever watched Naruto, really good storytelling. What I loved about Naruto is the way the story is being told from not only Naruto's perspective but from Sasuke's perspective, and it's very much more prominent in Shippuden, which when they're much more like older, they're like teenagers, and it's actually bouncing between Naruto's point of view and Sasuke's point of view. And so this is the dynamic that I actually want to create here, and you're actually gonna see, we're gonna jump now between Nathan and Platinum Falcon. We're coming to the end of season 1, and I don't want to say too much because there is really a big incident that happens at the end of season 1 that I want to leave open-ended a bit. If you guys have ever read my previous comic, the the Merchant of Ignatius. The event that's going to take place is going to be quite similar. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say much more because I don't want to spoil it. We'll spoil it when we get to the last episode, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm working on episode 14. It's not too long before we get... I think it will definitely end at like episode 18. So probably like by the end of this year. We have 4 weeks left before I actually put down the final episode. And I think at the end of season 1, I will also still be doing the superhero guides because I want to actually keep the series going. So we can actually rack up more reads on Webtoon and get more viewership. Because obviously once the season ends, I can't actually have a long ass hiatus because we're not going to get viewership, we're not going to get readers because of how the system on Webtoon works, which is crap. But we have to play by the rules of the game. I don't like the way Webtoon is, you know, being run right now. I don't like... Webtoon is still Big Daddy in terms of webcomics, and we just have to deal with that shit. And so I just have to, you know, pound through that and, you know, get the results I would like at least. And then if they decide to take my comic down, it doesn't matter because it's up on my Ko-fi, and I can always rail them later and actually get more views on it and get more people to follow me because of their bullshit. So yeah, you know what I mean? It's a win-win either way. I really don't give a shit. Like I'm just using the platform to put out the works that I have. Kill All Heroes is also on my Ko-fi, so like if they ever decide to like just take it down, you know, there's another place for it. And what I'll do is I will just re-upload it. I will re-upload it, get new readers, they will take it down again. And then I will re-upload it, get new readers, and they will take it down again. I'll just keep repeating the cycle and just funneling people to my Ko-fi or wherever I'm gonna post the rest of Kill All Heroes, and the people who want to see it will go there, or they will go wherever they would like to see it, you know. Now there's early access on my Ko-fi, but once the episode comes out on Webtoon, it's free on my Ko-fi as well. So basically I'm putting it out for free on Ko-fi. I don't really care. Like, I just want people to see my work, whether they see it here, whether they see it there, whether they see it everywhere. You know, I just want the people who want to see it to see it. If they don't see it, they don't see it. And also, moving forward, I obviously will be creating animations based on my webcomics, and this will also create another influx to my webcomics, because if people find the animations interesting, and there will be a bit more storytelling with the animations, obviously, not just straight up brawls. And I'll basically animate it in a way, and with voiceovers and storytelling in a way that will actually push people toward a webcomic. You know, kind of like how animes push people toward manga. I will do the same basically with my YouTube channel and push people toward my webcomic. So that's kind of my idea moving forward. That's kind of what I'm going to do. Is kind of promote my stuff on my YouTube, because my YouTube's doing much better. I will also then take the clips for my animations, obviously on YouTube, put it on TikTok and Instagram and wherever, what other video platforms I need to promote it there and whatever, and do trailers and all types of things. So I have a lot of things coming for my YouTube channel and the projects that I'm working on in the future. It's coming, you know. Once Kill All Heroes Season 1 is done, I will have actually more time to set these things up so that I can knock those dominoes down when I get there. Damn, so that's it for this video. I've actually been rambling into... Hopefully you guys are inspired and motivated by the stuff that I talk about, or maybe you just needed some background noise to get you through what you needed to get through. There's a lot of things coming for this channel in the future. There's a lot of things coming for the projects that I'm doing in the future. And this is your second reminder to hit that like, subscribe, as well as ring that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, guys.